Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So as you can see, this is a cooking video. You've been asking me to do some cooking, and I did say to you guys it was unfortunately rather hard to do this during a week with a little child after the school runs. Trying to film, it does get a little bit hard, but it is a weekend, and as you can see, it's a casual Sunday, so I'm gonna give it a go, so please don't judge. It's gonna be a very simple filming, but it is fairly simple recipe, so you should be able to follow this without me pointing the camera in a different directions. So this is the recipe, guys, I have mentioned on my previous shopping video. It is healthy, it is very cost effective, and it's something my grandma used to cook during the Great Depression. It is absolutely amazing. It would take a little bit of time, but generally it is very straightforward. So for the recipe, guys, I've got some cooked rice. Okay, I have a tin of tomatoes, I have an onion, we have a parsley, which is optional. I have my lovely big cabbage from Lidl, which I've bought. I've got some mincemeat, and yes, guys, I do freeze my mincemeat in a vacuum bag. Okay, as I'm saying to you guys, anything I do for you when I show you, this is what I do, and there's no fancy things involved. This is how I freeze my meat, like it or not, this is what it is. We then require a yogurt, kefir, or sour cream, depending what you have available. I found in UK, obviously, sour cream is quite expensive for a little pot. Greek yogurt from Lidl, it's really cost effective for 1 kilo, so I choose to use that. It doesn't affect the taste whatsoever. And I have 2 carrots. So one of the first things guys we have to do is to boil some rice, and it is a little bit difficult trying to establish the amount of rice, and to be fair, I never get this right because, well, the size of the cabbage kind of plays a big role, because the bigger the cabbage, the bigger the rolls, the bigger the stuff we can put inside, and of course it also depends on the amount of people that you're feeding as well. But as an average here, I have 2 cups of rice, and I'm talking about little cups of rice already pre-boiled and cooled. So first thing after the rice we have to do is to separate the cabbage leaves. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put my hob on so the noise might come on a little bit, or a bit. The idea is, okay, because I've got a pot of water which I've put up to boil. So the idea is, guys, we are using those leaves as a parcel to wrap up our filling. Okay, so we need to be able to get those guys off, okay, and we need to soften them up. As you can see, the cabbage here, it does have quite a thick spine, which is going to make it difficult, and it's not really pliable. So I'm going to put the carrot in here. You take it apart, as you can see, it's a good size. So I'm going to shred them off, or take them off of our cabbage. This is why the bigger the cabbage, the better. Okay, see? How cool is that? Okay, they come off really, really easy. As it gets closer to the middle, it does become a little bit harder to get them removed because they're packaged just that little bit tighter. Not packaged, but they're packed that little bit tighter. Nonetheless, they come off. So, anyway, I've got a pot of water here, boiling. Again, I'm doing this here, guys, rather than behind me, so you get to see that. Not that you get to see a lot of that, but nonetheless. So make sure all your leaves are tidy, there's no mold, nothing sort of horrible, and then just wash them in the water. The outside leaves, generally, they say to discard because they normally will have some dirt, but I've taken the really outside leaves ones out. We see, like here, we do have a little bit of imperfection, so I'm just going to cut this out, okay? Just cut the spine out. Cut all the brown stuff off, and we still have a very nice looking leaf. Okay? Some people say you can, well, some people do choose to boil the whole cabbage. My grandma always used to just pick the leaves and then soften them up. You can put the whole cabbage in the freezer, again, if you really wanted to, and then you defrost this and the leaves become really soft and pliable. But half of the time, guys, especially if you're like me, if you're making the decisions on the dinner on the whim, defrosting the whole cabbage is going to take a little while. So I prefer just to have it here. I know I'm going to have this, and I do this as and when. So let's bring that to the boil. Might get a couple more pieces going just in case. Those cabbages with the little cups like this, like lettuces, make a really great option to serve something else with, not with it, but inside it, because they are like little boats. It's really cute. Right. Okay, I think we reached the peak of that. Now, here we go. Here we are. Right. I'm going to wash those two in as well. Okay, so our rice has already been cooked. I've done this off camera just because, well, it's Sunday and one was enjoying a glass of wine and, you know, things need to be done in a quicker pace. So, cheers. Next thing, okay, I've got a frying pan here. I just need to get some oil, which I forgot. So, get some oil in the pan. I have one large onion and hopefully get to see at least a little bit. As I said, guys, I do apologize. You wanted to see this. I'm going to just try my best to deliver you what you want to see without too much stress on my daily life. Okay. A little bit manky on the top. Make sure when your cabbage starts sort of sizzling, make sure you turn this, not with your hand or the knife. Oh, the colour is amazing. I said not the hands or the knives, and I've done this with both. Anyway, so onion, okay. Make sure, guys, you cut your onion. Okay, so one onion. Okay, and let's put it on. A little bit more oil. Okay, and we're trying to get the onion to the stage of it being translucent, so pretty much cooked. So guys, when the onions are sauteing in oil, I've got a grater and I have 2 carrots. So we're going to grate the carrots. So okay guys, the carrots have been grated and we're now going to add them onto our onions. Okay. Give it a bit of a mix up. We do not want to overcook this because we're going to stuff this with the mincemeat inside the cabbage and we're going to stew this again. So we don't really want this to be overly soggy. Just sort of give it a bit of a colour. Okay, so our little cabbage leaves looks like they are doing well. Okay, and they've changed colour. They got nice and green. And main point is make sure that the spine is soft. That's the key point, okay? So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn the heat off them, okay? They're done, okay, it's been a few minutes. They're going to sit there in hot water for another couple of minutes until we get to stuff them with some food. Right, so, let's give this a couple of minutes. Okay, so carrots and onions are ready, so let's turn this off. Okay, and now I'm going to drain the cabbage, okay, get them out of the water, and we're going to start stuffing them. Okay guys, the cabbage is drained. I'm going to get them out because we do want them to cool down a bit quicker. They are super hot. Maybe use tweezers or tongs, shall I say. Okay. Ow, hot. Anyway, let's put them aside. Let me get this off. So, as I said to you, we have boiled and cooled some rice. So now it's going to go in a pot here. Okay. I'm going to now add on our carrot and onion into that pot. and let's give it a good mix up. Okay, so our onion, carrots and rice is mixed together. So technically you can leave it at that, but the traditional way is, of course, is to add on mince. And mince one could be a pork mince, or ideally mixture of pork and beef. And it could be still chicken if you wanted to, but I have beef, and my grandma only used to do beef. So I've got my beef mince here. Just going to open it up. Okay, and I'm going to take probably half. It all depends how many people you have to feed. Okay, and now I'm going to get my hands involved. Okay, and the idea is I'm going to mix that together, because obviously it's been frozen. You can see it's a little bit sort of stuck together, but the idea is, and make sure your hands are clean, mix it together. Okay, there's no better tool than hands, than my grandma used to say, and it's absolutely correct. You can feel the food, and this is the all days, guys, is feeling and connecting to the food that you cook. You get the understanding, you get the feel. It's just yeah. Okay, I think I need to get more mince. Mr. Daniel likes a lot of mince. I freeze, just as a tip, I freeze my mincemeat in the different size packages. Okay, when I get it, I normally bulk buy it in X amount, and then when I freeze it like 250 grams, 300 grams, because then you can easily alter this to your recipe. Okay, smells so good. So in the end of the day, guys, you end up with this. So you've got rice, beef, carrot and onion. Okay, very simple, but very nutritious. Okay. Right, okay, let me put this aside and we get the cabbage rolls and we get it going. So guys, the cabbage time. Okay, the cabbages are cooled a bit to be able to handle. So the issue we have, the idea is we create a little parcels. Let me get, say, this one here. Okay, this is really round, as you can see, and we have this issue of that stem that is here. So two ways, guys. You can either try and, not trim, but you can try to cut the stem off on the top and thin it down, but it is a little bit finicky. So what my grandma used to do, we just take a knife across, hold on, and I'll show you, and just cut the hardest stem part out. Okay, that gives us a really pliable piece of cabbage. So initially, you kind of want to go through all of that, because then you get your hands dirty with the beef and all that. So let's do a couple, and then I'll show you. Some cabbages are worse than others, but okay, so here we go, again, triangles. And this is why you see now, guys, I wanted to have the biggest cabbage possible. And they're still nowhere as big that you can get from Eastern European countries. Right, okay, so let's get wrapping. So we have our cabbage. Pick one with a hole. No, let's pick one without the hole. Okay, cabbage leaf. Take your rice and beef mixture. Okay, and just kind of make it into a shape. Reasonably trying to eyeball the how much you want to put in it. Okay, again, depends on the size of your cabbage leaf. So it's inside the cabbage, and just wrap it. And you know what, wrap it whatever way you know how. Okay, don't stress about it. Honestly, just don't stress about it. I've been doing this for a long time, and I still just kind of ever get them as perfect as what my grandma did. But nonetheless, it's food. It's going to get eaten, so don't stress about it. The whole idea and my motto, guys, is let's not make things complicated, okay? It's food, as long as it's healthy and it's easy and it's nutritious, it's good. So anyway, so this is the first little parcel. So I've got the Pyrex dish in here, glass dish, so I'm going to put one here. And we're going to make another one. Oh, there's got the hole in it, but don't worry. Like an ice cream scoop amount, really. Okay. I'm going to cut this bit off. I missed a little tough bit. Okay, and then just wrap it wrap it, wrap it. There we go. 2. And it is natural, guys, okay? It is natural that because of the cabbage size, you know, from the leaves outside in, the leaves get smaller, so your portions inside have to get smaller. But because they're going to be cooking in the sauce, they will finish cooking at the same time. So again, don't worry about that. Here we go, another one. See? Easy, guys, easy. It's like a wrapping burrito. Okay, let's get this one. So guys, we are done. So we've got 9, okay? So we've got 4 each for adults and 1 for a little one. There's a teeny weeny bit mince left, but that's okay. I can freeze that or do whatever I choose to do or you choose to do with that. So nonetheless, this is a good enough portion really to have for a dinner. So next thing is, okay, we're meant to be stewing this in some tin of tomatoes or tomatoes, passata, whatever you guys have. My grandma used to have basically just tinned tomatoes. So because we're talking, this is not a fancy recipe, okay? This is, you can adjust this to your, you know, to your flavors, that kind of thing. And here, unfortunately, I have a peeled tomatoes from Asda that the tin has been damaged. So I do need to use that tin right away. As a prepper, we know the tins don't last when they're damaged, so it needs to be used. So I'm going to open this up. Okay, I'm going to blitz this with a hand immersion blender. I'm going to put this over the top. So let me do that quickly. Actually, guys, thinking about it, I'm not going to use the immersion blender. I'm just going to do this with a potato masher. So, tin of tomatoes, okay? As I said, passata will work. Even normal tomatoes will work if this is what you have. Those days, it was all about using what you have, okay? And using the cheap ingredients, okay, to make something that is really tasty and really nutritious. So do what you have. That works well. Okay, so I have my tomatoes, they've been boshed with the potato masher, and then hopefully you get to see that. I'm going to just put this over the top. Okay, and move this about a little bit. If you got more of the parcels, you end up having to add on a little bit more tomato. At the same time, you can add on a little bit of stock as well. But, right, hold on. I've got my Greek yogurt here, and this is what I said to you guys I bought from Lidl. My grandma used to stew that in tomato and yogurt, so I'm going to be adding this on right now. So I've got a good spoon here. You're meant to be eating that after it's cooked with the yogurt as well for that little zing, yogurt or sour cream, sorry. But I remember my grandma just putting a good few dollops there just to help it go. It's created different, if you just cook them in the tomatoes, it creates a slightly different texture and flavor if you do mix the tomato in a good dollop of a Greek yogurt or sour cream. So I'm going to boss this about because this is what I remember grandma doing. And this is the thing, guys, with the recipes, those kind of recipes, they're family recipes. And there'll be so many people that will do things differently. But this is how I remember it, and this is how I do it. Because the yogurt will melt and it will become that creamy, tomatoey sauce. Okay, I think that will do. And now, guys, we're going to put this in the oven about 180, 190 degrees for approximately 1 hour. See you then. So guys, here we are done. And this is take number 2 because my microphone wasn't on. So I do have a lovely, beautiful plate there ready. Nonetheless, guys, so we have a lovely little pastas are ready. So all you got to do, put on a plate and just put a dollop of yogurt or sour cream, whatever you have, on the top. A little bit of parsley. Again, this is optional. And now let's have a look what it looks like inside. So look at that, guys. That looks lovely. All the stuff inside is amalgamated and looking amazing. Give it a go. Super hot though. Absolutely superb. So this is, guys, literally as simple as that. My grandma used to do this on a fairly regular basis. Believe this or not, cabbage has more vitamin C than orange. So in the winter times, okay, when things were tough and everything, having those kind of meals have really helped out a lot. And they're really, really filling. If you didn't really want to have or use mincemeat, guys, you can do just the rice and vegetables. Nonetheless, it still be really nice and tasty and really filling. So anyway, I really hope you guys enjoy the video. Please do excuse my attire, and if you do really want to see some of those kind of videos for the food that you want to see, it will be the weekend type thing. And yes, unfortunately, it won't be as glamorous as I normally do. So don't forget, please thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.